Hey Dennis, how are you?
Good, Grant. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good.
All right.
I got to sleep in today, so I'm refreshed for once.
Oh, good. Good. Are you taking summer school classes?
No, sir. No.
Good for you.
Yeah, actually already. I had a schedule for where I wanted to be, so I added another major to slow myself down.
I see. Um, are you in Greenville for the summer?
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, good. I guess the apartments or whatever all go with a 1 year lease, right?
they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm paying for it anyway, so I figured my roommates are staying, so I might as well stay as well.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay it all yourself. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
And it's by room, so
Yeah. One thing, Grant, I want to be sure you do is make sure that we're recording. Um, I think that like I thought I had it set to automatically record, but this today I noticed that it wasn't recording, so I turned on the recording. So I don't know.
okay.
I have to check the settings and see why it didn't automatically do it. But anyway,
Okay, sweet. I
hi
will.
Sydney, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. All right, I better turn my face on here. There we go. All right, Sydney, are you in Greenville for the summer as well?
I am. I'm
Oh,
working full time since I graduated in December.
oh, that's right. Where are you working?
So I'm working for a property management company, and then I'm also enrolled in real estate classes. So that'll end at the end of this month.
Wow, you're busy.
Very much.
What kind of real estate is it? Property management or residential or?
It's just my general real estate license, but the property management company is residential.
I gotcha.
We oversee a portfolio of different properties for a family.
I gotcha. Are most of the rentals to students?
So it depends. We have a lot of conventional living places. We do have two strictly student living places. But we have trailers, apartments, houses, duplexes, all
Wow.
the above.
Wow. That's a lot to keep track of. Is there a constant coming and going, people applying for apartments, people leaving apartments?
Yes, since last year, for the last several months, we've been completely pre-leased. So as
Huh.
soon as one comes available, we rent it, and within a day or two, we pre-lease it to the next person. So it's been a
Wow.
crazy year for living situations for everybody.
Yeah. That's interesting. And is this these are all Greenville properties basically?
Yes, they're all in Greenville.
Very cool. All right. Well, I wonder if anyone will show up today. I guess we'll see, huh?
It's cold and rainy. Everybody's taking a nap.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Although I don't think it's raining here. I think it might be drizzling. Looks like a really light rain. So
Yeah, it's been a constant sprinkle all day.
yeah, yeah, I'm about roughly an hour from Greenville, south, in a place called Pink Hill, North Carolina. About about 15 miles south of Kinston, if you know where Kinston is, and it's on the road you have to go to get to Wilmington. If you go from Greenville, you have to go through Pink Hill.
I was about to say the only time I've ever heard of Pink Hill was driving to the beach.
Yeah, yeah. Pink Hill is a town of 500, but there's 5 police officers, and I believe their only job is to give tickets to people driving through on the way to Wilmington. I'm pretty sure that's the business model.
Yes, a speed trap.
Yeah, a lot of people, I tell them where I live, they go, "Oh, that's where my daughter goes to get speeding tickets that I have to pay." It's kind of funny. But I don't even really see them. Maybe they they know my car, so they leave me alone. But I don't really see that many speed traps. It's once in a while, but not all the time. It's not
Mhm.
constant like you would think. Um, I don't know what else they're doing. I mean, it's the tiniest little town. I literally cannot imagine where they are going to during the day. If they're, I guess they work around the clock, so maybe it's just a couple of guys per shift or something. I don't know, but I never see police cars around the town or anything. Just once in a while, they're they're parked in a place where they can give people tickets. That's the only thing that I ever see. I don't know. Maybe there's crime going on in the farmyards or something. I don't know. The chicken houses.
There's a small town on the way to the Outer Banks, and my uncle's got like several speeding tickets there because it slows down right before going fast again, and
Yeah.
he's gotten so many.
Yeah, I grew up in the Northern Virginia area outside DC, and we had this street. It was just a regular residential street. It wasn't a particularly a main drag, but at one end it had a really big hill that went down. And so the city put a different speed limit on that hill, and the police would just wait at the bottom of the hill and just basically give every single person a ticket.
Mhm.
I think it was 35, and then they lowered it to 25 or 20 or something. And of course, everybody went down the hill, and they were going more like 38 or 39. And they got a lot of tickets, including me. I got one. So that was one of many I've gotten over the years. I must admit, a little heavy-footed sometimes.
Me as well.
Yeah. I the problem is listening to the music and kind of grooving, and next thing you know, you see flashing lights in the rearview mirror. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, even though I think we'll have more people join us as time goes on. Today, I'm going to demonstrate and talk about social media tools and email tools. And my plan is to kind of demo or go through a couple examples so that you all can get a sense of what's involved. And I'm always leery about doing a live demo. It usually doesn't go too well, but I practiced several times this morning, so I am hoping that it will work. So the first one I'm going to show you is I'm going to share my screen here, and let's see here. Okay. Okay. Here. Okay. Can everybody see this kind of strange white screen with some purple and so forth on it? Hopefully you can see it. So this is an application called Buffer, Buffer. And buffer.com. Buffer is a social media management tool, and it has a lot of features, but I only use one or two of them. Just not something I've really spent a lot of time with. I don't really have a website like you all do where I'm trying to generate activity in a particular site. So I would encourage everybody to really look at this in more detail after my demo. But one of the things that I try to do is, if I find stuff that I think will be of interest to entrepreneurs, I try to post them on, we use Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We also use Facebook, but Facebook's not hooked up to this system, because if you have more than 3 social media accounts, it costs money. So this is the free version allows for 3 social media channels. And to my knowledge, it's a full version. There's no limitations or anything with it. Now, I think you can see where my cursor is, where it has the word campaigns. Campaigns is something that is part of the paid version. And so some of you may find that to be helpful, where let's say you're introducing a new product or some new service. You can actually create a campaign on this tab and lay out like a whole series of social media posts over time. Sometimes these are called drip campaigns. You might hear that term, DRIP, where it kind of drips out over time is the concept. But we're not going to use that because I don't have the paid version, but I'm going to just give you an idea of how this works. So don't hesitate to jump in if you have a question. So I've already logged in to buffer.com and username and password. And you come to this screen under publishing. And you'll notice I have 3 accounts here. I've got Accelerate Rural Instagram, Accelerate Rural's Twitter, and Accelerate Rural's LinkedIn page. So what I'm going to do is, so I've gone to a link that I had earlier, and it's in. Hopefully, it'll show up. But I'm going to pick all 3 sources. So you can see here that there are 3 icons that have changed color. If I don't want it, I can turn it off. Hopefully, maybe, yeah, you can turn it off and it won't post there. But for this purpose, we'll do all 3. So what's really cool about this is you can just cut and paste a URL, for example. So this was not the right one, so that's good to know. All right, let's find one here. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I'm going to find one that I can post. Let's see here. Let's find one that might be interesting to entrepreneurs. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, I'll just pick this one here. This is a story about chargers. So I'm going to just copy the link. That's what I'm doing. And then you can put the link. Let me get rid of this here. So what happens is the link gets shortened, which comes in handy in some of the social media. And then the story populates below. So in this case, we're talking about a portable charger for your iPhone, so you don't get stuck with a with a dead phone. So then what you can do, if you want, you can I'm selecting, and then I'm going to paste that here. So basically what you see now is the article story, and then a link to the story. And then you also have the ability here, if you want to add an image, which you have to have an image, for example, with Instagram. Instagram does not allow you to post without an image. So in this case, I've taken a URL for a story that I thought would be of interest. I've copied the headline of the article, and I've selected one of the pictures from the story, which automatically populated. It gave me that choice of a picture that's in the article. And you can see here, I've got 3 choices. I've got Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So then it allows me to customize for each network. So you see here, what it would look like on Twitter and so forth. And then what you do is you have a choice to share it right now, in which case it'll immediately go and post to your social media, all 3 different places, all automatically. You don't have to go to them by yourself. I can add it to the queue, and a queue means line in French. And what that does is you can just keep adding to the queue. You could have 10 items in the queue, for example, and that could be spread out over 2 weeks, just as an example. It doesn't have to be constant. Or you can actually schedule specific posts for specific times. So going back to this idea of a campaign, or yesterday we talked about a marketing calendar. Here's a place where you can actually plan your posts, not only to which media channel, but also when you want it to post. So that's a very, very, very convenient thing. So what I'm going to do just for fun, I'm going to share these now so that we can see them. So let's just go to one of our let's see here. We'll go to let's try LinkedIn. Sorry, it's going to take me just a second here. let's see. So here you see the very first posting here is the one that I just posted, right? So it's the headline, grab one of these portable chargers, you'll never be stranded with a dead battery. It has the shortened URL and it has the picture from the article. And that posted at the exact same time to Twitter and to Instagram in this case. So you can see that that would save you a lot of time and effort, especially if you kind of plan it out over time and you kind of get your social media posts. Let's say, for example, you don't want to use a link. You just want to do like a picture, like something like, oh, I don't know, something like this, for example. This is like a commercial. This is a video that they've made. It's whatever it is that they're selling. And you could post that video multiple times over a week or two, for example. And it wouldn't be a link, it would be the actual video. And you can kind of go through here and you can see different things that people are posting. Sometimes you'll see a video and a link. You can do that. You can have a video that you want to show and also have a link. In this particular example here, it's a speaker that's coming up at an online type of thing, Katie Couric, who you all know. So this is actually serves two purposes. If you read it, you'll see that they explain what's going on, and then they give you a place to register for the event. So here's an example of something that is both, there's text, there's links, there's an ad, so to speak, and then there's fulfillment where you can actually sign up to get the to get the event or sign up. And as you go through Instagram, I'm sorry, this is LinkedIn, you can just see all different kinds of ways that people use this. Video is really by far the most effective from the point of view of getting clicks and getting attention. People will watch a short video, and I hear people say it shouldn't be longer than 15 seconds or 30 seconds. I think some of that depends on what it is, how interested people are in general. But this particular guy has got a 2-minute and 58-second video that he's posted. And my guess is a lot of people will watch it. I know who that guy is, Simon Sinek. Here's an example of someone who is selling a product, a food company. They have both their link as well as graphics. So it's really a way to promote what you're doing in a way that is acceptable for that particular social media format. So I don't know how many of you use LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is kind of a very business-like place. It's more, I guess, business than it is social media from the point of view of, chatting and all that kind of stuff. I think you'll see more of this type of stuff that I'm talking about, these ads, these calls to action, et cetera, which you might not see on something like Facebook, for example. So any questions or thoughts about this tool at this point? Okay. So again, this particular tool is called Buffer, Buffer. It's completely free for 3 accounts. If you feel like you want to do more, there's different ways you can do that. Like if you find that for example, you want Facebook and you don't want LinkedIn, then you can just remove LinkedIn and you see add channels, you can just add Facebook. Pretty simple. What I tend to do with this, since Facebook is not really big for this purpose, I'll just go over to Facebook and post it individually on Facebook every once in a while. It's not something I want to post all the time to in our case. And there are other tools like this. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. One is called Hootsuite, Hootsuite. That costs money. Almost all of them cost money except Buffer, in my experience. And some of them have very sophisticated features. For example, this whole panel can be linked to your website. So your website is where you would go to enter this information rather than this separate panel, as an example. But that all of that kind of advanced functionality costs money for the most part. I do want to show you here that where my cursor is, where this thing bone broth, this is going to post automatically at 2:31 today. So this was an example of a post that I put in the queue, and it figured out what time it should post based on the activity of that social media. So you can just fill this thing up. I think you can have 10 posts on each channel, and it will figure out when is the ideal time to send it based on visits to your social media channel. So that's kind of cool. But that's basically Buffer. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. Part of it depends on your strategy you want to use. Like in your all's cases, and many times you have a particular brand or product or service that you're selling. So you may want to have a little bit more human intervention, if you will, where maybe you answer questions or you go live on the platform and say, hey, I'm live. What do you want to know about X and Y product? So this is just one tool that you can use. You may also find yourself wanting to use other ways to connect with your audience. Depending on your product or service, you may find it more helpful to do it in person or do this and in person. It really depends. One thing I think is pretty clear is that posting, whereas we all used to feel like, if you posted more than once a day, that was really bad. And that's no longer true. In fact, a lot of the leading brands post 4 and 5 times a day on each channel. And you think about that, if you're a sole practitioner, that's a hell of a lot to keep track of and stay on top of. So some sort of tool like this will make your life easier. And you'll be able to get this done with much less work on your part. Also, Buffer is available on your phone. I actually tend to use it on my phone more than my computer. So you can do this on your phone as well. It doesn't have to be on a computer screen like this. And you can see that it's got dates available all the way into the future, where I could add a post and it would automatically go out there. One thing to kind of keep in mind that does happen, I'm not quite sure what this is, if it's a glitch by Buffer or a glitch by different social media channels. Every once in a while, it'll lose connection to your social media channel, and it'll send you a message saying, hey, I can't post to your LinkedIn. There's a problem. Go reconnect it or whatever. And you go back in and just kind of redo it and it works. I think that some of it might just be when the social media changes something in their algorithm or their display, and it causes this to break. So that is something that does happen. It's not your fault. It's part of what it happens. And I've noticed that LinkedIn does it way more than the others. I'm constantly having to reconnect. When I say constantly, probably once a month, I have to reconnect to LinkedIn, and almost never do I have to reconnect to the others. Any questions, thoughts on that? Has anybody here used any tool like this for their business? Anybody have experiences that they have had with others or want to share experiences like this? Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do, this is going to be an email program. And I want to start off by saying that there are a lot, I mean, many email programs, if you will, that are available. And I haven't really spent the time to really tell you the ins and outs of each one. I don't use them all that much for my purposes. But there are a few that are really well known. MailChimp is one that's well known. Some of you may have heard of it, or you've received emails that have MailChimp in the URL, and you'll see that it came from MailChimp. There really are quite a few that are out there. Most of them offer a free tier where you can use it for free. And often that has some sort of limit into the number of emails that you can send out at any given time. Generally, I'm not sure about MailChimp, what their latest is. It used to be you could, I think, have up to 2,000 on MailChimp for free. And once you start sending out more than that, then you have to start paying. The other thing with, and I'm gonna use MailChimp because I think realistically, that's probably the best one for this group. If I had to generalize, there are others, but MailChimp is, they just have a lot of features, and I think some of you may find this helpful. So I have logged into MailChimp. I have a MailChimp account with Accelerate Rural, and this is their dashboard. So one of the things you can do is connect the email to your website, to your store. And I think this is a really good idea. All of you have seen forms on websites, give us your email and we'll stay in touch. That automatically comes to MailChimp. When you enter that on somebody's website, it automatically populates on MailChimp. So that's a real good way to build your list, whether you have sign up forms or other ways to connect your your efforts, your store or your website to a tool like MailChimp. We're gonna, in a minute here, we're gonna go through some of this, but it's really a lot of hand holding here. Start your first email, create email, and it'll take you step by step how you create an email. Where this gets a little bit complicated, maybe for some, is using pre-designed templates. In most cases, there will be a template here that'll be good enough for you to use as a starting point. Or in their case, they have what they call a drag and drop builder, which basically means you create your own template. It might be, welcome to my company, welcome to my store, haven't heard from you in a while. It could be any number of messages. But this creation, this graphic creation particularly, is something that you have to spend a little time figuring out how you're going to deal with. You can have a kind of a standard template that you use for most of your emails. If you look at the emails you get from Accelerate Rural, which come every morning, I think around 9 o'clock, telling you about today's class, that's the same all the time. It's the same template. We just make a few changes to reflect that particular day, but it's the same template used over and over again. So there's very little time necessary to do that. Over here on starting automation, I used the word drip earlier, DRIP. Automation and drip are kind of synonymous, and it's basically creating a process flow of messages. In this case, it's with email. It could be with social media, but it's something where you take the customer on a journey to learn more about your product or service. And it might start off with, just a really, hey there, we're going to tell you over the next 5 or 7 days how to become a top customer of our brand or whatever. I think you get the point. MailChimp, it does have that feature. I'm almost positive that requires a paid account to have a real sophisticated automation process. I'm not 100% sure on that. But that's what that's all about. And studies show that engaging with people through this kind of process will help you build your audience. It is something that people are looking for. And the more personalized and relevant it is to them, the more likely it is that they will stay as a customer. Along that same line, creating a sign-up form. You've seen it on our website. Give us your name and email, and we'll stay in touch with you. They have that built into MailChimp. So you can create a form, which may save you some time and money having to hire a designer or whatever to come up with something like that. So they do have that built in. So add your contacts is, I'm going to give a little demo of that. This is where you take contacts that you might have in some other form in your address book or a database, and you're going to add them to your account. So we're going to just do one here. So basically, you create a file from your contacts, and I recommend this thing called CSV. You have a choice of CSV or tab delimited. Go with CSV. It's more universal. It's easier to work with, in my opinion. And you can also copy and paste from other sources, from a spreadsheet, from a Word document, and that's kind of intense. You're doing them one at a time. That can really take a lot of time. So I created a little file here. Hopefully we can find it on my desktop. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So it's called DT miscellaneous contacts.csv. And this is a real small file. It's only 8 or 9 names. So I have it stored on my desktop. I'm going to open it. And then I'm going to import this into my system. So this is a little bit, tricky, I guess. It assumes because you have these emails that you actually have the right to email these people, and that can be tricky. I know it might be someone who signed up at a store, or your farmer's market, or some other location, but really try to only upload people that you have some relationship with or some knowledge of, so you don't get in a situation where you're bringing people in who are actually unsubscribed versus subscribed. So we're going to continue. So here are tags. I don't know how familiar you are with tags. Tags are little bits of code that Google in particular uses to find content. I can pick customer tag. I can say 2021, and I can add a custom tag here, and I'll say ECU just to create one. So now it'll go to my little list here, and it's going to say I've got 8 names here. So these are the people that I have. Their given name, which is their first name, if they have a nickname or anything like that. Their last name. I don't know what Yummy name is. I've never seen. I guess that's middle initial. Anyway, it goes on and on and on, and you can do all kinds of stuff with this. Their maiden name, their birthday, gender, location. It can go on and on and on. In this case here, this is a group. I don't even know. I got this off some website of farmers, grass-fed farmers. It has their email. If they have a phone, whether it's mobile or work. The advantage of having the mobile is you can text them using these tools. Full address, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on and on. You can actually have extensive data on all of these people. If you happen to have it, you can build it. And if you do have extensive data, you could say, send an email to everyone who lives in Winterville and bought something in the last 6 months. And it would create a list for you to target and email. So this one here, I've only told it to do these 2 files just for simplicity. I've got 53 columns. I don't want to sit here and wait while it does all that. So we'll complete the import. Okay, so in this case here, it added these folks to the Accelerate Rural MailChimp account. And you see on the left here, there's all kinds of information. There's the sign up forms that you may have created, tags. You could have farmers, you could have students, whatever. It could be any number of tags. Segments could be age groups like boomers, Generation X, millennials. It could be all people who live on Main Street, literally anything you can think of. Surveys is something MailChimp offers. I don't know if it's with the free one or not. My guess is it's not. But you could send a survey to your customers. Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this price? What do you think of this color? Surveys people love. And especially if you do a survey and you offer them some kind of discount for filling out the survey. Fill out this survey and get 20% off your next order, for example, and so forth. So there's just a bunch of stuff in here. Now, in this case, I chose not to import first name, last name, address, yada, yada, yada. I just for simplicity of this, I just did their email address, just so you can kind of see how the system worked. But had I identified all those, it would have filled all this in as well. And all of those fields can be used to customize your send. So one example would be, let's say I'm making this up. Let's say you did a farmer's market and you signed up 50 people that came by your booth that particular day. That could become a segment, right? That could be Saturday, May 1st, Greenville Farmers Market. And you know that those people all connected with you on that day. So you can send a message to them. It could be very custom. Thanks for coming by our table. You left your iPhone here. Come back and get it, and I'll sell you some something good. But you can see the benefit of real granular breaking up of the groups into various segments and various tags and other identifiers that enable you to communicate very specifically. And even though I don't believe MailChimp has it at this moment, but I believe you'll be able to soon send texts to people as well as email. So if you have their cell phone number, it goes to their text. And some people claim that text is a lot better than email from a response perspective. I'm not sure. I get so many text spams, I don't pay much attention unless it's one of my kids or somebody I know personally. But that is, it may already be a feature. If not, there are companies out there who specialize in this same sort of technology only for text instead of for email. So that gives you an idea of how this tool works. And any questions, thoughts, experiences with similar tools? Anybody had?
Hey, this is Rachel. I had a quick question.
Yeah.
I actually tried to use Survey or MailChimp probably a few months ago, sent out a few hundred emails. And I learned later that a lot of them were really categorized as spam.
Yeah.
Is there any way to circumvent that? And I think I had one of the lower tiered paid subscriptions at the time, but I think most of them did end up going as spam.
Yeah, it's I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, because especially if you're just initiating a relationship with somebody, right? You've never emailed them before. I'm not sure there is a foolproof way to do that. I know that you can go to a lot of trouble to, for example, connect your domain to MailChimp so that it comes from your domain, or there's a lot of little tricks like that. I frankly, I'm not the right person to ask about that. I know that it can be done, but I'm not sure, unless you're really talking about thousands of people, I'm not sure it's really worth it to go through that expense, whatever expense there would be to figure that out. I just don't know. Email is essential. Everybody has email and uses it. At the same time, the open rates are pretty low, and the spam quotient is an issue. So I really don't know what to tell you. What some people do is they just try different services that, maybe MailChimp is so big that it's considered spam more often, right? So another one that I use is called Flowdesk, Flodesk. Flowdesk is really quite similar to MailChimp. It's much newer, so maybe they're not as likely to be added to a spam list, but I'm not sure. So that's what I would do, is I would try a few different services and see if it makes a difference. But I think the real answer is is figure out a way to get these people to sign up directly with you. And hopefully that would lessen that risk. But frankly, it's a problem I don't think the industry has solved.
Okay.
So I do think that that sign up forms are really a good idea. And I'm going to show you all, and I know you all have seen this. But if you go to the Accelerate Rural website, what ends up happening is, or better happen, watch it not happen today. Normally we have a pop-up here that asks for your email address. I don't know if you've had that happen, but for some reason it didn't pop up here today. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it knows I've already signed up. I'm not sure, but those kinds of things, those pop-up forms on your website can really increase engagement, and people, you know, if they're interested, they'll fill that out. And don't make them real complicated. Name, first, last name, email address is plenty to start with. You can send them another email asking for more detail, you know, if you want to. But I do like those pop-up forms. I'll have to ask Marco why our pop-up didn't pop up, but it does on my phone when I go to it, but not on my computer, which I actually don't use that often. But these are two tools that you can use to reach out to potential customers or serve existing customers. It's also a way to customize offers as you build the list and the segments and the characteristics of the different segments. You can send out a different email. You can send 10 different emails out at one time to 10 different segments. And this tool will help you do that over time. What I'm waiting for, I'd like to see MailChimp or one of these other tools added to Buffer so that when you do social media, you can also do email. I think that would be ideal. Maybe they're working on that. I don't know. But that is something that would be really cool if you could do that. So, all right. Okay, so that's what I have for today. These two tools that I encourage you to take a look at, and happy to help anybody who's interested in setting up accounts or practicing. You know, we can work together on that to work out the kinks with what you're trying to do. But I think over time, you know, the busier you get, the more people you get, the more these tools can come in handy to help you with the workload. And, you know, again, over time, as you grow and as you build, you'll be amazed at how many accounts you can handle using these tools. I know people that work with hundreds of thousands of customers and use these tools and segments to run promotions and run sales and so forth. And you probably get some of these emails yourself on some of the accounts you might have. You might see this kind of thing every so often. So I guess that's it for today that I have. Are there any more questions or thoughts that anybody has there or issues, even if it's not these two issues that you want to cover?
Dennis, what did you say you did not use MailChimp, but you used another
Flowdesk, FLO desk, FLO desk. The thing I like about Flowdesk is they are one of the newer ones, and they have a deal. I assume they still have the deal, but it's half the cost of the other ones if you take advantage of that deal. So it's like $19 a month for something that these MailChimp charges $40 for in terms of features. So that's why we use it. We use Flowdesk for Accelerate Rural. But I've got so much information in there. I didn't want to go through all that and share all my secrets with everybody.
Yeah.
But it's actually very, very similar in the way it works. And, you know, we can look at, let me just see if it, let's see if we can do this. So this is Flowdesk, and
Mhm.
Flowdesk is known for they tend to have really nice graphical templates, as you can see here. You know, they're pretty fancy. They're kind of aimed at I would say retail, maybe a little bit. So when you go to modify these templates and get them for your use, it might take a little more work than it does with MailChimp. But they have some pretty cool, like here's their, this is a form, a sign up form. It looks pretty cool. And you can change that picture. It could be a picture of your stuff. But their templates do require a little more editing than MailChimp. They're very, very graphic, and they connect with Shopify and all these other sites.
Mhm.
So you can, I like them a lot. They're pretty good. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe they started connecting with social media. I'll look into that. But it looks like they're trying to get people to sign up for social media. Let's see. Yeah, so if you sign up for Flowdesk and you do the free version for 30 days, and as your 30-day comes to a close, they'll make you an offer for 50% off. That's how it works.
Mhm.
That's how you get the $19 one. I don't think they published that. Let me see. Yeah, they say access forever for $38 a month. So it's half the 38 is what they will pitch you on if as your trial comes to a close.
Mhm.
And it's pretty funny. One of the major questions, how do I migrate from MailChimp? Which is what we did, right? We were using MailChimp and we migrated to these guys. So they're pretty good. And also a lot of these different programs have really good help desk and people who work with you. And Flowdesk in particular has a really good administrative help. So you can get on there with them and they'll help you. They're not so giant that they've got thousands and thousands of customers. They never can, respond to you. They actually can respond to you, which I like. I think that's a really good thing. All right. That's it for today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll cover some more on this same general subject, but in a different way tomorrow.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow.